Guys, deluded Guna YouTube's and Golo Kante. I'm back again. Now, I'm not going to rant. I'm not going to go over the top. I'm not going to say what hasn't been said. So, if those of you that are looking for them contents, whether you're an Arsenal fan or a fan of another club that wants to laugh at our clubs, sadly, this ain't going to be a vid in it. So, shout out to you, but you need to go look elsewhere or something in it. But what I will say, if I don't know how to make this make sense, I don't know how to put this, guys. Manchester City, different beast. Do I believe an unnecessary amount of headlines are being written? Yes. For instance, Keown got excited, and even though they scored 3 quality goals, the first 2 goals, no, it wasn't Keown, sorry, I'm putting him in it for no reason. Jamie Carragher, I actually like listening to him. He said that Pep's Barcelona haven't scored goals as good as what they scored yesterday against Arsenal. Like I said, great goals, but that's over the top. Like, if you were watching Barcelona when Pep had it, you saw them goals almost every week. So he got excited. The manager said that we came against a side full of confidence, a side that capitalised on our confidence, a side that is good and all of these things. Cech echoed that as well. So like I said, you can't fault that. But for me, I have a real I really find that hard to take. You know, not because of our form, not because of how good City are. They would do that to a lot of teams, and they did it 4 times. I mean, they did it over the space of 4 days. They've done it twice. What am I actually trying to say? This is how much they fried my brain. They've scored 3 goals twice against us in 4 days, 9 in the last 3 games against us in 3 different venues. So yeah, I have a hard time letting that sit, because regardless, when I'm hearing man like Cech is out here saying we played better than we did at Wembley in the first half, but we still, how can you quantify that? Yes, that is true. Let's be honest, it is true. But how do you quantify that? Because at Wembley, it was 2-0 at this point or so. You went into half-time at 2-0, so you were back. You had more of a chance of getting back in it at that point than you did at Wembley. So how do you actually, forgive me if I'm wrong, I can't remember, but how do you quantify we were better? And for me, this feels like loser mentality in the sense that man are trying to justify. I'm not saying he's trying to justify, Cech isn't, but man are trying to make it. Like, man are trying to find positives in getting ripped 3-0. We're low on confidence, we're low on form, and all of these things are true. But for me, it's just nonsense. I mean, all of these, it seems like the players are and the manager's shifting the focus onto how good City were and how full of confidence and how much they capitalised on that. You have 2 choices. The manager isn't going to step. So we're not going to see, like, when Jose stepped down at Chelsea, at least this season. You're not going to see a new manager come and gas them up. You're not going to see Watford when they brought in Marco Silva. Now they've sacked him and they brought in another manager. You've seen a small uptake. Stoke, Mark Hughes gone. Again, I don't want you to get hung up on these examples, but Mark Hughes gone. Lambert, you see what I'm saying? We're not going to see these sort of... it happened to Leicester as well for Ranieri. We're not going to see that at Arsenal, at least this season. So we have 2 choices. If that's not going to happen, you have to play your way out of form. And the only way that's going to happen is man stop feeling sorry for themselves. I'm not saying it's easy. Of course it's hard when the world is telling you you're crap, me included. You know you're crap. You can't buy a win regardless. You can't keep a clean sheet. Cech, you've been stuck on 199 clean sheets for how long? We haven't kept a clean sheet in 10 games. I think we haven't been that bad for 16 years. We've won, we whether it's defeats, whether it's winnings, whether it's all different stats, we're getting worse. But I can't quantify. I don't know how you quantify this. Like, Wenger, I love Wenger. Like, I'm Wenger's biggest fan. Nobody would want him to turn it around more than me. Nobody's going to be an bigger Arsene Wenger fan than me. It's going to pay me when the man steps down. But I'm going to be happy by the same logic, because we need a change. It hurts me that your legacy's got like this. I don't think it's been tainted, but to a degree, if those who say it has been, you can't fault them because you're doing nonsense. I'm not going to, like I said, you've seen all my vids, and if you want to see more passionate vids, just go down my list. I'm not going to go over the same things again, but I have a hard time sitting with this. Like I was trying to say before I started rambling, you play your way out of form. If we're not going to sack the manager, we have to play our way out of form. So man need to stop feeling sorry for themselves. Man need to go back to basics. Like at the teams ahead of us. Why are they ahead of us? Or why are they doing better than us? Fundamentally, look at City. City, on top of, regardless of if it's the centre half or the striker, they're working defensively and offensively for the team. There's personal responsibility and pride. Company and Otamendi and all them centre halves and right backs, they have personal responsibility. If they don't keep a clean sheet or they mess up defensively, Pep will tell them, and they already and them things there, but they already know. They already feel hurt. I do not see that at Arsenal. Am I saying it hurts these players to get ripped? Of course it hurts them, but I'm not seeing several things which I'm seeing at other clubs. Midfielders, hold yourselves to account. Strikers, hold yourselves to account. Keeper, hold yourself to account. If everybody focuses on their jobs and getting the basics right, and we come together as a collective, you can get somewhere. The season is done. I mean, if you're wishing on a star, if someone could bust Judge or something at this moment in time, and you could say, how could we get some positives out of this season, you would say winning the Europa League or getting to the final, and you'd say somehow getting into the top 4. We've got 10 games left. We need to win every game, which isn't going to happen. We've got Old Trafford United coming up. When was the last time we turned up at Old Trafford? When Gilberto, was it Gilberto who scored? Either Gilberto or Adebayor in 06, man. That was the last time we turned up there. Brighton, we should be beating a team like Brighton. No disrespect to them. But with our away form, with the woeful away form and the teams we've lost to, both in the Premier League and in different competitions, people forget we've lost to Cologne as well this season, as well as Oshasans, and all of these things in different competitions. Can you really be filled? That wasn't a way, but you get the point. Can you really be filled with confidence? Their side, quite rightly, I've said in my preview, Brighton are going to be full of it. But it's deep, man. It's sad. It's sad. Like Wenger as well. Like when I'm hearing you're saying things post game like this, I don't care for. We know Wenger likes to play coy and he likes to say nonsense, but he's out here saying things like you go up by the stairs and you go down by the lift. If he means that success is very hard and people don't see it until you get to the top, fair enough. And when you fall quickly. That is true. We've seen that. But I don't want to hear about that. You're telling me on top of how City were a better side and how they had more motivation and all of these things and all of these great things. You said that was our highest physical performance. No, it's not. I saw higher physical performances when we got a point against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, or when we came back against Liverpool, or when we got a draw against Chelsea. Even in some defeats, I've seen a higher performance level. Don't lie. They asked you, could you take us forward, or do you think you can win a title or do anything? Them questions. You said yes, of course. I admire someone's I admire what you're doing to a degree, because if I had that much resilience, regardless of what the world's telling me, I'd be achieving all my goals. But by the same logic, your people in your personal circle, I have to question if they're real friends or family or whatever, because they've got to see this and see that it's going on too far now, and you need saving from yourself. Whether you find another hobby, whether you manage at another club, whether you do another role in football, maybe national teams, I don't know, but they need to save you. You need saving. You cannot win. You cannot win. You've shown you cannot win over 38 games and win the league title. You've shown you can't even get us a consistent title challenge. If we were getting for all these years consistently coming second, yeah, you'd probably need to step. But most fans would take that. We've lost 3-0 twice in 4 days. Now, yes, it's a great City side, and they'll do that to a lot of teams, so there's no shame in that. But there is shame in getting banged 3-0 twice, letting in 3 goals in 4 days. I keep messing that up, and I say this why. We know Spurs are a media darling. Like, shout out to Pochettino, but whether it's certain young players, if we look at the minutes they've got this season, trophies, all of that stuff, if we put it under the microscope, it's a different light. And Spurs do not have the expectation that Arsenal has when it comes to winning stuff. But do you think Pochettino, let's just say they got ripped in that final 3-0 and they played on Thursday like us against City, that's not going to happen. They're not going to lose 3-0 again. And if that did happen, they're going down fighting. Liverpool, their defence is terrible at times. They probably would concede 3 goals again. But they'll go out fighting and try bang City like they did the other week. Chelsea, they ain't been in the best of form, so the context isn't that good. But I can almost be certain if they lost 3-0, they're not going to lose in that fashion the next week. It's not going to happen. And for any other top 6 sides, even teams below us, I even back Burnley. Based on how Burnley fight for a result, I don't think they will get banged 3-0 twice in quick succession against City. So what does that say about us? We've lost the most games out of everybody in the Premier League in 2018 alone. Like, this just says stuff. Like, whether you want Wenger to stay or go, I'm a person who believes in the facts. I love my club, innit? I don't believe one man can deliver success for this club. I don't believe this should hinge on one man. The only way the club can continue and get better is by collective stuff, successes and stuff. Wenger, we know you're selfish. We know you don't want to leave. We know, especially historically, but especially the last couple of years, you've had a very hard time differentiating what is good for Arsenal and what is good for yourself. Whether it's retaining players that weren't good enough, whether it wasn't splashing money, and all of these things, all your decisions were shown. Empty stadium. I feel sorry for the people that actually were silly enough to go and think Arsenal would show them some heart and stuff, even they're in the snow. I feel sorry for them because they're not worth. It's not worth the expenses. It's not worth the TFL train tickets and whatever travel card, whatever. It's not worth anything. It's not worth it. And we're resigned to this now. Like, we're just waiting for you to step down. And for a manager that's one of the greatest managers to have ever managed the game of football and Arsenal, it's a shame. But every dog has its day. You're not that guy anymore. And if you know you're not that guy. And that's why you won't let people... You said things about artificial positions and things like that for ex-players. That's why you won't bring in certain people that will say something to you. You've got too many yes men around you. And I don't even think they're yes men. I just think they're, to a degree now, I think they're just crippled. Their hands are tied. It's in such a way they can't do anything. I wonder how Aubameyang, Lacazette, and all of these guys must feel. Yes, they've both been in respective poor form when they've been about, but the team is just you've been brought in under false pretenses, and the whole team don't look inspired. They don't look on anything, and you're just looking around. Yes, Aubameyang missed a penny, and it was a poor penny. He could have done a much better, but we could have done better than that. But even before that, and even if you want to be technical, even Aubameyang has said himself when he missed a penalty, it looked like his players are resigned to losing. And I would love to say it's a shock, but we've been here in several incidences where this has happened before. And if you want to be technical about Arsenal, for as good as City were, it's the same old things again and again. How many times were they trying to hit Sane? It's about being proactive and recognising that. How many times did we actually get him? We actually, first 10 minutes especially, we actually did okay. We got him behind. Bellerin put a lovely ball in. Aubameyang and a couple other men had chances. We could have taken them, but we didn't. So this ultimately is football. This is football. Like I said, I'm not buying that that's our highest physical performance as well for several reasons, but it's just... There's nothing more to say. Like, I'm not as naive enough to think that Wenger simply going equals us being competitive. That's not going to happen. Wenger's not alone in doing this nonsense by himself, and many things need to happen at this club. There's no magical messiah that is going to come to Arsenal and fix everything. Granted, it could even get hell of a lot worse if and when Wenger leaves. I say if, because clearly man's going to decide when he wants. He even said that the recent weeks. I mean, yesterday or so when he said, technically the decision's always been mine or something. Messiah's not going to deliver success, but me personally, I need to wake up when Arsenal's playing, or in general, because I love Arsenal. You see the vids. I need to be inspired, for better or for worse. I need to wake up with some sort of optimism about my club again, because I'm not. I know what is going to happen. Like, we're going to get ripped. We're going to play like duds. Man are going to come out and say what we should and shouldn't have done and how we need to go on a run and all of this fart. Like, it's nonsense. Like, they're low on confidence and stability, yes, but they're the two things for years I've been praising, I've been wanting to see on the pitch, and Wenger, you haven't showed it. When you see all of these players that want to be 10s on the pitch and things, you know what time it is. You can't play City with Xhaka, Ramsey, Ozil, Mkhitaryan. There's nothing to do with any of them guys. And in certain contexts, yeah, you probably can play them like that. But that's too many attacking sort of players, and we can't. We're not better than them. And in fact, on that note, what has Wenger previously said when he's won league titles or in general? If you can't win, what people? Don't lose. If you're not better than it, so by that logic, if we can't beat City physically, mentally, tactically, technically, for all of these things, the least we can do is be intact positionally, right? Which if we were when Bellerin was actually doing his job, but he weren't covered and people were letting him dance past them. If we did that properly, that goal doesn't happen, and maybe the second one doesn't happen. But this is all hindsight, people. The facts is it's 3-0. It was 3-0 in the first half at half time. We should have passed the pad. Should have passed the pad and give people their £10. For those who don't know, me and my guys at times we bet on FIFA. I lose my money quite a lot because I'm really on the FIFA thing. But should have passed the pad, restart. If that was Football Manager, I can't lie, guys. Do you think I'm not hitting home screen and restarting that? But there's none of that in real life. And the subs, like, with the season gone, you might as well give the likes of Eddie chances. Like, nobody expects us to get top 4. Nobody expects us to win Europa League. No one expects us to even win a game. So let these players get some experience under their belt, see where they're at in the top level, if they can actually be part of the team next year, and just ultimately give them chances. Because at least, even if they're not good enough, at least these young players are going to work their socks off. They want a chance. They want a chance. They know what it means. They're anxious. They're gonna, regardless of playing good or not, they're gonna leave it all in the ring, and that's ultimately what I love to see. Regardless of winning or losing, Arsenal has never been Man United of old, the big bullies and stuff like that. But what's always been there is heart, passion. If you go down fighting. We're going down toothless. Man's heads are dropping when we're at the tunnel, and this goes into Arsenal in general. It's too nice. It's too soft. Man are not scared to play at the Emirates. Man are not spooked before they've even stepped onto the Emirates pitch. 9 times out of 10, man are looking at, it's a nice pitch, we can play football, and all of these things. I've got no sympathy for Wenger because the last 3 years in particular, and I'm not excluding any previous years, but the last 3-4 years in particular really highlight the level of ignorance that's been displayed by this club and Wenger in particular. You cannot stand in the rain and complain why you're wet. You can't. You've stood in the rain. You have stood in the snow, and you're asking why are you now got the flu? You haven't. You're there telling us, damn right, ignorance that, I've rejected some of the biggest clubs to stay here. And that's true. That is true. That is true. Historically, you've rejected Real Madrid and all of these things. Their ex-presidents have said that. But what's that got to do with us? Just because you did that does not mean you need to have a job for life. It doesn't mean anything. You're not doing us a favour. You're actually not doing us a favour when you're not doing us a favour. So, like, if you're honest with yourself, Wenger, you know you can't take this forward. And I know you would love to, having won FA Cups in recent years and all of these things. You think you're the man, but and I know for someone that's been in the game as long as you, even if you don't like Arsenal, many man didn't want him to go out like this, but it's been coming. You need to know when to go out. You need to retire before it retires you. Shout out to Mayweather. It's retired you, Wenger. You've not shown that you want to adapt. And when you have shown you wanted to adapt, which is last season, we're finally bringing in some sort of changes and things. It's been too late. It's too little too late. We're already many years behind all the other clubs, whether it's commercially, whether it's youngsters. Like the very thing man used to say about you is good football and you're going to find good kids. You're going to France, you're coming back with Sonogo. Man are going and getting Mbappe, Dembele, wavy guys in France. You're coming back with Sonogo. You're coming back with duds. You're bringing in 30 players like Benassia and Gnabry and Malin and all of these men, and they're busting out. Like, we're not seeing the mangoes that we've watered and stuff. Like, there's no point being at Arsenal. Like, there's no point. We're on a banter thing. We might as well just become a glorified Stoke. Like, actually become nasty. Like, away from winning titles, just become nasty. Just become a difficult place to play, man. I'm tired of being nice with Arsenal. But at the point, I'm like, you must resign to this now, innit? Like, it is what it is. United have come sixth before less. Liverpool have held this before. Spurs have definitely held this. Arsenal fans, we are lucky, Carl. When we were playing crap and getting top four, and man was saying Arsenal's just a top four club, and all of these things teams are praised for now, and the glories of getting top four we were praised for now. We were lucky, and we were complacent. The year that we were lucky to pip Spurs to finish above them when they bottled it, I think it was against Newcastle. It should have been wake-up calls, but it wasn't. You finished fifth. You would have think finishing fifth, no Champions League. You moved serious. Man are playing Maitland-Niles in China centre-half while other teams are patterning up. The next season, this season, proof is in the pudding. You failed to prepare. You prepared to fail. You failed to plan. You planned to fail. Arsenal failed to do that. Under this guise of being a world-class club and winning through harmony. We're not winning through no harmony because there's no togetherness at this club. There's no pride in the shirt. Chapman will be rolling in his grave. Rolling in his grave at this. Man didn't do all of that work for this. Guys, Deluded Gooner, YouTube's in Golo Kante. Get in the comments, subscribe, and do the rest. I'm out.